Now that we're more comfortable with functions, let's look specifically at linear functions. These are going to be of the form f of x equal to mx plus b. And while we've talked about lines before, let's do a quick reminder. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. So let's look at a few examples. Something like f of x equal to 3 plus 2x, this would be linear. In particular, we need it of the form mx plus b. I could rewrite this as just 2x plus 3. If I have something like g of x equal to 2 times 1 minus 3x, this will also be linear. If I distribute, I have 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3x is 6x minus 6x. And then once again, I could write this as negative 6x plus 2 to be in the form mx plus b. If I have something like h of x is equal to x times 3 plus 4x, this would not be linear. If I try to distribute this, I would have 3x plus 4x squared. However, this x squared term would cause a problem. That causes it to no longer be linear. Instead, it's quadratic. Let's look at one more of these. K of x equal to 1 minus 4x over 5. And this is also linear. I can rewrite this as 1/5 minus 4/5 x. And now this is of the appropriate form. I can now write it as minus 4/5 x plus 1/5, which is the form mx plus b. So this would be linear. So fractions are fine as long as we don't have a x or a variable in the denominator. I now want to graph the function f of x equal to 2x plus 3, and I'm going to do this using two different methods. The first is the very first way we learn how to graph anything, which is make a table, pick some numbers for x like -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and figure out what y needs to be. Although now we're figuring out what f of x needs to be. So for my first one, I would have 2 times minus 2 plus 3, which simplifies to minus 1. I then have 2 times minus 1 plus 3. That simplifies to 1. 2 times 0 plus 3 is 3. 2 times 1 plus 3 is 5. And 2 times 2 plus 3 is 7. I now want to graph. So my first point says go over -2 and then down to -1. I then need to go over -1 and up 1, over 0 and up 3, over 1 and up 5, and then over 2 and up 7. And then we can connect the dots. This is not going to be perfect here since I did not draw very well, but that's okay. We do get the general idea. I now want to look at another way to solve this and to graph it. We start with this number right here. This is the y-intercept, so it tells me where I cross the y-axis at 3. And then slope, I can rewrite it as 2 over 1. And this is rise over run, so I should be moving up 2 and over 1. And I can repeat that if I need to, but now I can draw the line between those 2 points, and I have the same line that I had before.